And thanks, Gary, for getting on the call with me today. Just talk about your experience on going through like the 7 day video challenge, which basically like it's a video marketing branding short course for beginners, like coaches, consultants, and you're more of a high performance coach, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's probably right. It's
That's a right
multiple
niche to
niches.
describe you.
Yeah, I mean, look, typically small and medium
Exactly.
enterprise
More
owners,
B, yeah,
yeah,
I
who
guess
need to get their stuff sorted.
more B2B, yeah. So look, I wanted to use this video to also shout you out and just to let my community know what you do. So maybe tell us, what do you do and what do you offer in the market so that, I can tag you and go, look, this is Gary.
Yeah,
And
sure.
yeah,
Look, my ideal avatar, so to speak's
yeah,
small to medium enterprise owners who, turning over anywhere from about 3 to 500,000 up to it could be five, could be 10. One man
yeah,
can turn over 20 million on his own,
yeah,
which I've come across, and
yeah,
others, they've got a team of 10, they're lucky to turn one. But it's more about just getting the efficiencies, and quite
yeah,
often, as you know, too, it's
yeah,
often about getting the transformation right, both within them and then within their business, and getting a bit of a strategy to do it. But our real pitch is probably contrarian to all the social media is
yeah.
pretty much within 45 minutes I can take someone into a position where they can go and triple their lead,
Oh,
uh,
that's good.
double their sales and increase their profits,
Yeah.
well in excess of 10K. I'd like to say 50K, but I keep it at 10. Um,
Under
and
promise,
that's more
over
traditional
deliver,
means,
right?
yeah, without doing the social media. But I found
Yeah,
your program is a excellent adjunct to, number one, get authority or get a
yeah,
attraction to your client, and for people to understand probably who you are, because
yeah,
online it's very hard to determine personalities
yeah.
in some circumstances. So I thought doing your program would be an excellent way to sort of bridge that subtle gap.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And
Mm.
I want to ask you, like, in terms of the I guess biggest takeaways is, um have you found, I guess, you have a radio voice and you're in radio background, but what have you found that was different from before you joined the program and after the program? What are, like, I guess, three takeaways?
Yeah, great question, Quang. Look, I think probably one of the best things was being challenged again to getting out of the comfort zone
Yeah,
and getting back in front of. I'm not a selfie man,
yeah,
um, but getting in front of the camera where and having to come up with fast, quick scripts, not overthinking it, which
yeah,
was a fascinating learning.
yeah,
Um, and then I really liked the integration you brought in of different concepts and themes. So I'm tilting my glasses here.
yeah,
Um, the different concepts and themes that you brought in were really good, because like I often use a bit of a wheel and a seesaw to get the positive, the negative in things.
yeah,
And it was really good the way you threw contrarian points of view. I thought that was really good.
yeah,
And that was a challenge to the thought process. I think we all get in a bit of a rut sometimes in how we
yeah.
think. And I thought that was a good challenge, the 7 day challenge, right? I thought I liked how you're making me a bit uncomfortable, because that's where the growth is, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, and then trying to get a handle on the tech. I mean, for you, you were flying through it, very comfortable.
Yeah,
For
how was
me,
the tech? I mean, everyone who before they jump on, when before they even consider doing videos, they're, oh shit, like the editing is gonna be nuts. Like, was it as bad as you thought?
yeah, and look, one of the nicest things was I've always been very much a loner in many things, and
Yeah.
being part of that group environment was really good, and seeing the transformation in some of the other
Oh yeah.
participants was really not only encouraging, but it was
Yeah.
very uplifting, very
Yeah.
rewarding, and you see other people coming out of their skin and
Oh
putting
yeah.
proper foot forward. That was really
Like a
that was
70
great to
70
watch.
year old, right? She's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, the winner, how good was that?
oh yeah.
Um,
I never expected that. Like, I reckon she's in her 65s, right? And
yeah, well,
I don't
better
think
watch
you
what you
get
say on online, but
it. 65 young.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it is young nowadays. But she did a great result. But some of the other people there, I was so impressed.
Yeah.
You know what I love when you put a group of people into a think tank? Everyone's got
Yeah.
a different concept, different
Oh
approach.
yeah.
What I
Different
like,
approach.
that's the creativity and stimulation.
Yeah.
And it's no different to who you talk to in business or in life. Everyone's
Yeah.
got a story, everyone's a bit different.
Yeah.
But to your point, you're very good at having them elicit a bit of their background, to come out of the dark, come
Yeah.
out of the shadows, declare who they are. Because let's face it, as soon as you go online, you can't be too timid. And I think you
Yeah.
I think what your process did was encourage people to go to that perhaps that next level of vulnerability,
Yeah,
or probably a better interpretation for it would be the authenticity of it.
yeah,
Builds that rapport, which is really where the magic is. And I thought you should really be commended with the
thank you.
KISS approach to that. It's very simple but effective.
Yeah,
Mm.
and how important is authenticity and I guess like being vulnerable to a brand? I mean, in like in this market that has a lot of noise, do you find that beneficial for your own brand as well if you were to start going through that approach as well?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think if I can break that down, one is what you said, noise. There's so much noise.
Yeah,
And so by being able to put a bit about yourself or about your business personally and otherwise, you build that rapport. And I
yeah,
think it helps create that point of difference comparative to other people in the noise out there. So if you can do that, people can start to work out, because it's just as much about pushing the wrong people away versus attracting the right people, right? So
yeah,
if you're truly going to run an authentic business and be happy in what you're doing. So for me and my brand, the integration of what you did, it opened up. I had a concept of where I wanted to go. I'm quite
oh great,
strategic like that. But what it did was allow me to crack through and understand how I could really do it, and perhaps put a bit more icing on the cake of where I wanted to do it.
yeah,
And I've been doing a bit of work over the weekend understanding
oh
the
fantastic,
positioning of that.
yeah,
And but I'm really grateful I did it. The timing was right for me because
yeah,
I needed to crack through that, and then I had a set plan in my mind, and I wasn't quite sure. I was in a bit in the grey area about how I'd integrate and where I'd use it.
yeah.
Um, but now I'm very clear, and so to be honest with you, I'll reshoot a lot of what I've done.
Well,
Um,
you have a lot of good qualities. Your voice was good. You had the presence. Like, I don't think you were shy on camera. I think it was just the content and the messaging that you haven't really kind of, you know,
Tweak.
tweak, which you continually do, right? Through iteration, and it's an
Yeah,
experimental
and do you
process.
know the good thing about doing this is that you're vulnerable. I mean, let's face it, we're creating scripts firing away, right? So now
Yeah, right.
feedback, I'm going, oh, great. But the thing I really liked, I mean, um, I seem like probably I was one of the only Aussies in that mix. I loved it because you get a real raw. I mean that by middle-aged, older white guy. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah,
love the energy and the
yeah,
flavour and the mix of that group gave me so much good feedback.
yeah. It
I
was
really
different from
liked
different
that.
people from different countries as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, why do we love to travel, right? You get
yeah,
different culture, different
yeah,
conversations, and I just love the thoughts and the way some people approach things,
yeah,
ways I never would.
yeah,
I think perhaps as you go down the line, it's very easy to get caught in your own forest, and to be
yeah,
exposed to a group environment. There was really good cross pollination.
yeah,
Particularly, I really enjoyed Dre, and I really enjoyed the
yeah.
gentleman from the US. He was so polished. I can't remember his name.
Uh,
Um,
what's his name?
was it Michael or Peter?
Was
But
it Jonathan?
I told him he should go and get in touch with Oprah. He'd be laughing.
Right.
He was a natural,
All right.
totally authentic, good delivery of message, and I thought that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. And what was your, I guess, experience in that short period working with me personally, and me just being more of the video marketing branding coach
Well, I
alongside
think you're
you?
very real.
Cool.
I like there's no BS. It's
Yeah.
authentic. It's what you got. Different parts where your kids turn up, and I love that. My family. And things happen, right? This is just about working and being at home, and I just like probably the way you steered the ship. It was good leadership, actually, Quang, the
Thank you.
way you controlled the flow, the process. You
Yeah.
didn't get too involved. I actually like the way you let a lot of people get in and comment themselves, like you
Yeah,
told.
yeah. I wanted to the group to just basically help each other. That's why I like. Did you like the accountability system? Like the whole concept that people were
Yeah.
just like wolves fighting for the prize. Everyone was just trying to help each other to win.
Yeah, I thought it was good. What I found interesting out of it, I mean, that's accountability in coaching, right? So
Yeah,
you're coaching people to an outcome to get out of their comfort zone and to get a result. I thought that was really good. But the thing that was amazing on that point that you raised was that people were very collaborative, and
yeah,
they just wanted the best for each other. And I think that's a very interesting. Um, it's a very interesting development in this sort of learning environment.
yeah,
And you can see different people learnt differently, and others just absolutely took to it like a wildfire.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I found that very interesting. But back to your question, I like the way you'd orchestrated it. You weren't
Great,
too
thanks.
over the top. You weren't dominating. You're letting people, probably by the power of suggestion, come to their own conclusion,
Yeah,
which I think is good because it makes them think about
yeah.
and perhaps reflect on what they've done. And then a couple of other times people just go, "Oh, you got to change this, change that." You go, "Oh, yeah, of course." But if you don't know, you don't know.
That's right. Okay. And and lastly, would you recommend this 7-day video challenge, which was a short branding course for in videos, to any other business owners out there? Maybe someone
Yeah,
like yourself.
100%. I've already given you one recommendation straight off.
Fantastic.
I don't do that lightly because,
Thank
as you
you.
know, if you recommend things, you
Yeah,
wear your own reputation or brand risk.
yeah.
But yeah, look, I'll particularly for a target area I'm working with, I think it could be a very, very good way to enhance people's not only authority but exposure of their business and put a face behind the person behind a business or the brand they represent. I think that's really good, and yes, I would definitely recommend it. Let's face it, the price of entry is a very low barrier, and I think the value,
Yeah.
and it's about self-empowered learning. That's
Yes.
the good thing.
Yes.
I imagine you get people who join who don't really commit and do it. Well,
Oh,
they're not.
there's always a group. Any course, like there'll be a Tony Robbins course or what other
Yes.
course. There's always that factor. Um,
Yeah, I could see the people who really benefited were the ones who just jumped off that cliff and committed.
yeah.
When you're paying the money, just do
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Exactly.
don't quit, get into it.
That's it. That's it.